How's it going, guys? Welcome to another Titans review here from me, Mark, one half the Uncaped Crusaders Review. And this time we're going to delve into episode 8, Donna Troy. It came out on Friday. I was excited about this episode going into it because episode 7, not a big fan of. This one, though, it looked real promising. I looked real excited about it. And I was disappointed. Again, this is the second week in a row I've now been disappointed with the show. And one of the biggest reasons, the show is moving at a snail's pace. We still have no real plot, no real goal, like nothing is happening right now. Ultimately, we're trying to figure out who Rachel is, and we'll be introduced to Trigon, I'm sure, at some point. We got a little bit more information on him, but ultimately the show is not moving. They're not really a team. They're still like getting to know each other. We still don't know any backstory hardly for any of the main characters. It's getting harder and harder to connect with them. If they had established them a little bit better when we first met them, it would be easier. Dick is pretty much the most established character, and Rachel's getting there. Starfire, we learned a little bit more information. We learned a little bit more information about Rachel. It's moving so slow. Like, there's only 4 or 5 more episodes. We still don't know anything about most of these characters. We still don't have a main villain. We still don't have a goal yet, other than, I guess, protect Rachel. I'm worried that they're going to end this season with Trigon being revealed, and so nothing will have been solved at all. It'll just be big time cliffhanger, and that's going to leave me a little flat if that is the case. I like having a story arc where you build to something and then there's a conclusion. I don't really like this super slow build where you're not really learning much and then it just kind of end on a cliffhanger. So we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, so this episode we got to meet Donna Troy, Wonder Girl, so that was pretty cool, getting to see kind of a flashback with her and a young her and a young Dick Grayson interact, and kind of just a whole sidekick thing. And we get a feeling that they're friends. They know each other. They're clearly longtime friends. So that was nice. The team kind of splits up. Dick goes his own way because he's trying to figure out who he is. After that last episode kind of messed with his mind. So apparently, burning the Robin suit was actually real, which I didn't think it was. I thought that was just kind of a metaphor in the last episode, because I don't remember ever seeing him have it at any point. If I missed it, then it's my bad. But in this episode, he flat out tells Donna Troy that he burnt the suit. So he goes to see her, trying to just find himself, probably the only person that he really can confide in or go to. So we know he's no longer Robin. So that's nice. We're building to Nightwing, which again, I think they're going to end the season with that. And then the rest of the team are going on a train to Rachel's mother's house in Ohio. Rachel's mother's still around. We get kind of a couple nice moments with them. While they're on the train, Corey still doesn't know anything about her. And she runs into a guy and he ends up being an FBI agent because they're after her. That goes poorly. She has to kind of blow up the whole train, which I'm pretty sure she blew up a lot of people. I'm pretty sure a ton of people died when she blew up that train. And a lot of them are probably innocent people, so more deaths from these guys. They like to kill people, but they get away and they get to the house in Ohio. The whole time Dick's just with Donna at like her photography exhibit. She's an investigative reporter, and so we get to see Dick being awkward around people, which kind of throws me off because his personality is very stoic and very closed, which makes sense in the show, but was never really Dick Grayson's character. He was way more energetic and nice and fun. That was always part of his character. And then there was a little bit of the thing with Batman, and there's some conflict there, but this guy is just depressed, and the more and more we get, the more he's just depressed, and the less and less he's like Dick Grayson. So I'm hoping that resolves itself, hopefully soon. Donna Troy goes off to meet animal poachers, animal smuggling, for a story to try and take down a bigger guy. So the guy's gonna give her information, and she's gonna use it to get someone higher, I'm assuming. Dick, of course, follows her, and then his thing kicks in of these guys are criminals, we take down the criminals. So he goes down and beats them all up. She's mad at him. She's like, no, I'm trying to build this to, build a case and get to someone else. So now Dick's kind of being an idiot. This is really the first time he's been kind of an idiot on the show. They definitely are trying to show that he is less mature than she is, even though he's been the most mature one so far. So we're kind of getting a weird dynamic there, which is, I guess, interesting, but just kind of off-putting. So then we have a scene with Dick and Donna Troy back at her place, and she had gotten him to take pictures of her lying knocked out with the guy so she can try and keep this cover that she's dealing with, which makes sense. So she gets his phone and she finds the pictures of that were in Starfire's like storage unit or whatever in a different language, and she knows a little bit about it or something, and has a book that she learned from Wonder Woman, or got from Themyscira. They name drop Batman, Wonder Woman, her as Wonder Girl, and Themyscira. So building the universe at least. So that's kind of cool. And they're driving back to the house and translating, and there we get the first mention of the name Starfire, because it's referring to Corey as Starfire in there. And we get her mission is to secure the Raven, but with the translation it also could mean take care of the Raven, so kill Raven, which I don't think they've mentioned really the Raven much as Rachel, at least with the name. There might have been some mention when Dick and Corey are in her storage unit. I don't remember. So they're trying to get there. Raven offers to help Corey heal her mind. They don't know if it's going to work, but she's going to try. And, while she's doing that, clicks in something. We see some flashbacks of like Corey's spaceship and stuff. So it seems like her mission is back in her head, and we see her grab Raven. That's the end of the episode. So this whole episode, again, for the second one in a row, was pretty much a waste of time. The only pertinent information we really got was the fact that Rachel's father does have powers, because her mom said that when talking about him. Then the last few minutes of the show with Donna Troy and Dick Grayson translating. So we got the name Starfire, and that her mission was to destroy Raven. And then I guess we were introduced to Donna Troy, and that's really it. There's no development farther than that. I mean, I guess Rachel and her mom's relationship a little bit, but there was really nothing happened again. Very little pushed the story forward. And now next week, we're going back to Hawk and Dove, who were good characters. I liked them. I don't know if they're supposed to be part of the team, like if they're going to be in the Titans, because they're not like on the cover or anything, or if they're just extra characters. Same with Donna Troy, I'm not quite sure either. If they are, then fine, but if they're just offshoot characters, we're going to have a whole episode with like 4 or 5 remaining about these characters who we've only seen once. It doesn't look like it's going to progress the story at all. We're just going to get background information on Hawk and Dove. So now we're going to know Hawk and Dove and all of Doom Patrol more than we know the Titans, the main characters. So it's driving me crazy. Like, why would they not introduce us to these characters fully and then build from there? It's kind of annoying. It definitely seems like this show was meant to be a Netflix binge. Like the 13 episodes all come out at once and binge it, because the slowness with this builds, the lack of action in every episode, it's not set up like episodes that are supposed to come out once a week. So that's kind of annoying. I think this was supposed to be a Netflix binge show and not weekly. It's getting frustrating because I keep waiting for something to happen. I want a central focus. I want a central plot. I want a central goal. And there's not one right now. There's like a bunch of different tiny ones, a bunch of different offshoots with different characters. So it's annoying. And I'm almost 100% sure this show is going to end with like Trigon, and then the whole next season is going to be about that. And it's just like, that is not what either that, or it's going to end, like Trigon's just going to be introduced in the very last episode, and they're going to defeat him all in one episode. And that would be disappointing too. So a little disappointing. Kind of would just want to see the Titans at this point and know these characters. And I don't think we needed to take an entire season to do that. That's just my thoughts on it. Gonna keep watching. We'll see what happens. At this point now, it looks like we're gonna have 4, 5 episodes with no Robin or Nightwing or anything. Because I'll bet you anything they're waiting till the last episode to unveil Nightwing. So that's disappointing, because that was kind of the one saving, the one thing that was really enjoyable with the show was Robin, and now that's gone. So I don't know. Not a huge fan of this episode either. So it's 2 in a row now that we're kind of So hopefully next week, although I don't have super high expectations, because next week's just Hawk and Dove, which again, I like the characters, but I don't want to learn now all about these other characters who we've not even been with and still not know about the main characters. And it just doesn't seem it's going to further any plot ahead. I don't really like these flashback type episodes. It's just kind of annoying. I just don't think we need it. We'll see what happens next week. Anyway, thanks for listening. Make sure and check out our podcast, The Uncaped Crusaders Review, available iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, @Uncaped Review, right there. Go ahead and follow us there. You can follow me on Twitter at MarkyMarkBrand. You can follow Ian, my co-host of the podcast, at Sir_Rancelot8. So make sure and check us out there for all of our latest thoughts on what's going on. Aquaman's coming up, so we're getting ready to do that. Our last episode that we did, we're going through all the Batman movies, and we just did Batman vs. Dracula, or The Batman vs. Dracula from 2005. So that was last week. Coming up next week, we're going to start with the Nolan movies. We're going to start with Batman Begins. So that's going to be incredibly exciting, and I can't wait for that. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and make sure and subscribe. We'll talk to you guys next week.